Hello and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Wrestleview WWE Raw Review Post Show. I am Mike Tedesco, the editor-in-chief of Wrestleview.com. I'll be joined momentarily by my darling wife, Victoria. She's just getting set up right now. But it is the Raw after SummerSlam. It's so weird that I mean, the whole entire time I'm recapping SummerSlam, I'm like, okay, well, I got to get geared up for Raw the next day, and there's no Raw the next day because it was on a Saturday. I couldn't get my head past that, and a couple of it seemed like a few times, even the performers were like, oh yeah, this past Saturday. In fact, MVP in the very first segment of the show said, Bobby Lashley beat Goldberg this past Sunday at SummerSlam. It was weird to have SummerSlam on a Saturday, but geez, it didn't take away. Actually, I thought they had a little more time to put into this show, and I actually thought that this was a pretty good episode of Raw. We're going to talk about it tonight, and now she is here. She is set up. I'm going to add her to the show. Hello.
Hi.
There's Victoria.
I had to fix my camera.
That looks fine. No, why are you bringing it up? Down.
Down?
Yeah.
Really?
That's it. There you go.
Okay.
Perfect. Now our heads are matched up. And the only other thing I got to do is just give you one of these, switch them around.
Oh, yeah, please.
I do that.
Oh, that was confusing me. My hair was in my neck, and it was like, what is on my face right now?
Right. Okay. Let's go and tune into the chat and say hello to everybody that is joining us this evening. Welcome to the show. We got Daniel Shell here. We got Goosey here. Hello.
I'm gonna do the princess.
Call me Michael. Call me Michael. We got Michun Walls here. Hello, Tedesco's, and the highlight is the Miz turning on Johnny Drip. Actually was pretty damn good. Randy Torcola, Miz marched into creative and told that Victoria said he and Morrison needed to end. It could be what happened.
Randy tagged me in, and he's like, you're the reason basically that Miz that I wasn't happy.
His last remaining fan, just said no more. That was enough. That's of all the things that happened on the SummerSlam review show, we should have clipped that one. That's the one we should have clipped. Yeah. We got Grash in the chat room. Hello, Grash. We got Uncle Billy. Billy Hefner's in the chat room. Let's see. Goosey, was Morrison's talk segment really named Moist TV? Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yes. Tyler Upson is here. Randy's wondering how hard is Mike going to rant that they're actually going to do Charlotte and Alexa. Our air conditioner was out today.
Oh, yeah.
And I had to have an HVAC specialist come in here and fix it, and it got fixed, and everything's good. Brand new air conditioning unit was installed in January 2020. Has no business breaking down. If that wasn't working, I would be quiet as a church mouse. But now the AC's on, I can start to sweat again, and then I can cool off.
Just so everybody knows,
that one was outrageous.
Just so everybody knows, we almost did not have a show tonight. So
yeah, we almost there's no way that I was going to do a show without AC, and we're even staying in this house without AC. We're going to pack up, go to my mother's. Mr. V is in the chat room tonight. Hello, Mr. V. And I think that's all we got for now. Oh, Josh Bowell. Josh is on Facebook watching us. This is incredible.
What?
Let it play out, man.
Josh is watching.
Bro, let it play out, man.
Boy.
The gloves. You got to let the gloves play out.
In trouble if Josh
it's the gloves.
Is watching.
It's all the gloves. Josh is here. He's going to stir some shit up. I just have a feeling. I have a feeling he's going to say something just to stir it all up, and I kind of like that. All right. So, and before we get started with the Raw review, I want to say thank you again to everybody that tuned into the SummerSlam review show. The brilliance of I got to. Josh is on Facebook commenting, and you gotta love it. You gotta love it. Josh is a guy who lets it play out. That's a true wrestling fan right there. He lets it play out. He understands the genius behind Bray Wyatt. So genius that he's gone out of the company, but I mean, there was genius there for a little bit.
I don't know.
But we want to say thank you to everybody that tuned in. It's incredible. it's the biggest show that we ever did. For whatever reason, YouTube's algorithm liked us a lot on Saturday/Sunday. And if you typed in SummerSlam in their search bar, we were the fourth result. It was like 2 WWE videos, another video, and then us. We wound up doing about 6,000 views. We had about 250 people in at one time. Obviously an incredible night. And Wrestleview, the view count on all of our stories was up extremely high. So that was a great night. And everybody here has been there since from day one. You know, I don't know if we'll ever blow up like that again, but that was pretty cool. But we have we never say never, but we have the best audience that you could possibly ask for. By far. Speaking of, where the hell is Quentin?
No, he's here.
Is he? Oh, there.
Yeah, I'm finally here.
I see. There he is. Thank God. Okay. We got King of Huecamundo here. Washes his hands of the entire thing. Josh is now on YouTube. All right. Excellent. All right. Until longest night ever for Wrestleview. That's true. Yeah. As soon as I saw like all those people there, it's like, oh, well, we got to drag this out a little longer. But hopefully it was more entertaining when they drag shit out on Raw.
I think it was entertaining.
I think it was entertaining too.
I mean, it's funny when you have like a SummerSlam that's long, the pay-per-view is going to be a little bit longer, and the post show, you know what I mean? Like you can't really avoid it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The Facebook is it's an emerging platform, Josh. It's an emerging platform. YouTube is where we make our bread and butter here. All right, let's get into this episode of Raw. Fallout show from SummerSlam. Let's just dive right into it. So we open up. At first, we opened up. You know, they recapped what happened with Bobby Lashley and Goldberg and Gage Goldberg and the hurt lock on the 15-year-old. Yep. And I gotta tell you, I really like that angle, specifically just because it was it was like just so. I don't know. It just reminded me of like Mid-South wrestling and stuff like that, where Goldberg's standing, next to his broken son. He's holding his head and he's just looking at Lashley. He's like, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you. Like, oh man, he's gonna kill him. But they're probably gonna do that match in Saudi Arabia, and he probably can kill him. He probably can kill Bobby Lashley in Saudi Arabia and totally get away with it.
There's nothing left to the imagination.
He could even dissolve him in acid.
People get, like I said, they could.
People just disappear there. That's amazing.
Anything's possible.
He could dissolve Bobby Lashley in acid before even taking off the runway.
I won't be watching. So.
It's incredible. I'm so interested to see. I mean, there's so many ways that this could play out.
There's so many ways that murder can happen.
There's so many ways that
somebody could die.
the prince is gonna have a field day with this. He might collect somebody's head as a trophy. It's gonna be incredible.
I don't understand.
Sweet Lewis here. Louis Veraldi's here. Hello, Wrestleview fam. Hello. All right. So they recap that. They have MVP come out, and he wants to address what happened on Sunday, even though it happened on Saturday with Goldberg. They were criticizing him for bringing his son out, and then his son, the coward, jumped on Bobby Lashley's back after his coward father quit. It was good. I mean, it was an effective way to set up a rematch, I got to say.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
And, they had good heat in this, actually. San Diego was
really pleasantly surprised by that. I was not sure how people would react, but
people weren't into Goldberg at SummerSlam. There was a lot of boos for Goldberg.
There was.
Offense at SummerSlam, and then all of a sudden like they actually gave a story. I mean, Goldberg walks out and he's like the number one contender all of a sudden just because he says, I'm next or whatever. And people don't like that.
No.
At this point,
do you blame people?
No, I don't. I don't, because people are sick and tired of these fucking champions having to run through the entire roster of everybody who shows up day in and day out. They crush everybody on the roster just to build them up so that they're worthy enough. They have to run through enough scabs so that they're worthy enough to face Bill Goldberg or Brock Lesnar or John Cena. Man. And then the question is, what happens, after you vanquish Goldberg? What happens after you vanquish John Cena, Brock Lesnar, The Rock? who's waiting in the wings? It's like these legends should be coming in to put somebody young over. And the last time I looked, I'm pretty sure Roman Reigns is like in his mid to late 30s and Bobby Lashley is in his 40s. Who are they building up here? How are they looking toward the future?
Right. And that's something that has always been the age-old question at this point. You know, how can they evolve from the past? And you know, they can't.
Okay, I gotta say, because Josh quoted that abysmal fucking interview with Nick Khan, the WWE president. We don't look to the past, yet they march out John Cena and Goldberg and Brock Lesnar, and they'll be marching out The Rock before you know it. It better not be. It better not be. That interview was stunning in how just fucking twisted the mentality is in this company and the lack of self-awareness. It's like, I get that he's like trying to say that, our creative is so good. I wish Raw could be 4 hours and I wish SmackDown could be 8. Like, I wish I could keep adding more time to it because it means more money for us. It just shows like Nick Khan, that was a puff piece interview. He's being interviewed by a guy who was his client in Ariel Helwani, who totally sold himself out to just make this guy look at, barely asked any hard hitting questions. And, they edit it in a way that it's just like that. Nick Khan just looks great. He loves using those lines like, oh, that again, your words, like, dude. Like the lack of awareness in this company to like say like, oh, a 4-hour Raw would be even better for us because it's more money. It's like, but our creative team couldn't do that. It's like, they can't do 3 hours, you fucking idiot. Could you imagine if they just kept it to 2 hours and put out the best show that you possibly could? Then that's also how you make money. That's also how you do it.
I'm letting you know right now.
This guy is an idiot.
I'm letting you know right now.
He doesn't understand wrestling whatsoever.
If Raw went to 4 hours, I would quit.
No. If Raw went to 4 hours, the show's over.
I'm done. Sorry.
It would, if they announce that next week Raw is full time, Wrestleview post Raw number 134 is our last show. I would never recap that. I would be in a battle to the death with Josh to try to get my hands on AEW Dynamite to recap that. I would never go back to WWE. Not ever.
No.
Never.
Sorry, never. And who in the right mind? What fan in the right mind would be like, hey, yeah, that's a great idea. I think
Goosey's like trying to set me up like I'm in the movie Hostel, where it's like people are bidding on watching me get tortured and suffer.
Goosey, you don't want to do that because then I have to suffer. So if you want me to suffer, I don't think you want me to suffer.
Nick is a con artist. I like that one. That's a good one.
He totally is, Quentin.
Daniel Shell, WWE's Then, Now, and Forever. Yeah, the forever means that's how long their shows last. No, I mean this guy is just there. All he wants is just make just find any way they can to make money. They got like I'm watching the show tonight and it's like everything is they've turned themselves into like this little kitschy merchant. Yeah, I mean, like, of course, merchandise. They are a merchandising company that just puts out a professional wrestling, or some, version of a professional wrestling product. But God, they are so heavy-handed on it now. Like, they've dipped their hands in NFTs and, like these friggin' packages, help me out here, cameos, and like there's just like anything you could do just to make like an extra buck. It's like, how often is that to say too? Like, oh, I wish we could do this because we want more money. Like just to say it like that is just like so conceited, like we just want to keep making money and like whatever. They're not even saying it like, oh, because we have the best talent and we want to showcase everyone. It's like, we want to just make all this money. That's the only reason why they're saying it. I know. So that's why it's weird. Like, and that's like, oh, well, it's just not. They're not. I mean, I get it. It's 2021, and I know that we live in a capitalistic society, and it's not all rainbows and butterflies and stuff like that. And yes, they don't always put their customers first, but most companies put their customers somewhere on the list.
Well, most companies don't want to torture their customers.
It's like the customer is the very last thing that they think of.
The customer is the villain. Like they
like yes.
You're at bottom of the totem pole.
It's like how come every other wrestling company, like AEW is, I don't care what you say now. I mean, looking at their numbers from Rampage, yes, it's going to be hard to duplicate those numbers ever again, because how many times can you have CM Punk return? But I think that's going to push them over the corner. They're going to be a viable. They are a viable entity now. It's confirmed. It's done. That is settled. That's settled science here.
Oh, absolutely.
But everything that AEW puts out, yes, you can say that it's the AEW cult and that hive mentality, and fuck Phil Brooks. It's like I get it. Like some people think that way, but like for some reason, everything that they present to their audience, the audience doesn't just try to hijack the show and turn on it and kill it. It's like everybody's like, oh, wrestling fans are fickle, but I don't know. It seems to only happen in WWE.
Yes,
that's the only place that it seems to happen. Mm-hmm. It doesn't happen. Like on AEW, it doesn't happen in Japan. It doesn't happen on all the other broadcast. Pick your broadcast. This is the only one where the fans try to hijack it because they're not getting what they want. They don't feel like that their input is truly valued, even when they are supposedly given what they want. It's like, oh yeah, we'll give the title to Kofi Kingston, and Bianca Belair's getting some steam. Watch what we do with her.
They're always too late to the party. They're either too late to the party, or they just don't ever do it at all, or they'll just keep beating a dead horse and trying to push somebody who's just not there. You know what I mean?
Well, like this Alexa Bliss thing tonight. I mean that this whole thing, is just like it's see, that's what's so weird about this company. Mm-hmm. It's like, I started off the show by saying I actually like the show, so now I'm just getting myself all riled up. But like that Alexa Bliss thing is just so indicative of how they think of their fans. They're just dicks that will just buy all their merchandise, so they're just going to put whoever sells merchandise out there. And it doesn't matter if the fans like them. It doesn't matter. I mean, they literally have to zoom in on Alexa Bliss's face so far that you can't even see the stage anymore. You can't even see her ears. It's just like this, because they don't want you to even see one fan sitting on their hands while they're pumping in their Thunderdome cheers.
Oh man,
I mean,
really hoping that
gimmick is a complete failure.
I thought you were going to be wrong.
Mike, you're being too hard on Alexa Bliss. It's not her fault. She's trying really hard. Yes, she's trying really hard. Good for her. That's wonderful. It doesn't mean anything.
It's not.
Sometimes you try hard and it doesn't work, and you move on. You try something else.
It's not her fault. Obviously, she's doing what
she's doing the best that she can, and it's not her fault that she has a shitty character. When I criticize it, I'm criticizing the creative.
Yeah, you're not criticizing her.
It's not. I can't criticize her because you're not allowed to be creative in this company.
No,
you're not allowed.
No.
And if you try to protect your gimmick, you're fired. Bye Wyndham Rotunda, Bray Wyatt.
Yep.
You tried to say something about the Fiend. Goodbye. It's like,
yeah.
We'll give it to Alexa Bliss. She'll keep quiet and just do whatever we tell her.
She will, because
you're not allowed. So Alexa, I can't criticize Alexa Bliss because she's not doing anything that is of her own creative whim.
She's going to work.
She's going to work. They direct her on what to do, and she does it. That's not her fault. What I'm criticizing is the creative and the lack of awareness that this thing is a complete hole in the show, and now they're pushing it into a women's title match. Now, granted, they have 6.5 women on the roster for Charlotte Flair to go against. They have to beat Charlotte Flair again, in order for her to get to 16 by WrestleMania. So they're going to give the title to Alexa Bliss, and then Charlotte Flair will beat her at the next pay-per-view, and then they'll give it back to Nikki Ass or Nia Jax, because Nia Jax was talking about wanting the title tonight. It's like, but just the Alexa Bliss thing. And how as soon as her music hit, there was no reaction from the crowd. You don't see anybody. And then they just zoom in on her, and then all of a sudden you hear all these cheers. It's like, come on. That's stuff that makes you go,
Here's the thing. To go back to your point about how it's not her, you could have given this character
Sigma.
You could have gotten this character to anybody in the company. The best woman who has ever, been in this division, right? It just wasn't going to work. The creative itself was not there. It's nothing to do with the individual. because Alexa Bliss, for what she's doing, right? She's actually playing the character really well. It's just not a good character. The character itself is being played well. She's acting really, really well. In fact, if it were anybody but Alexa, we'd probably be poo-pooing on this like even more so. But because it's Alexa Bliss and she is really putting her effort into it and is actually portraying this character, this shitty character well, that's why, you know, you can't hate on it so much. But it's just, it's nothing to do with her as a person. It, literally, she's going in. It's like a 9 to 5, but it's not a 9 to 5. She's doing her job. She's being asked to do, you know, she's just trying. She's just trying.
Good for her.
You know, and but you can't blame her for that though. You can't. You just can't.
I know.
Speaking of,
I can't.
Speaking of the show though, and in terms of Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, can we just talk about that first, since we're kind of on that topic?
There's something about that, Trevor. There's something about that. even just go back to drinking a couple beers on the job or like whatever. Come on, Bruce, take one for the team.
Man,
Lamar, hello.
Hi,
how are you? All right. What do you want to talk about?
No, because we were on the subject of Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair.
Oh God,
was
Charlotte just cutting the same promo that she does every friggin' week? Actually, I thought that the Charlotte Flair promo was actually pretty good. She came out, she talked about, you know, I mean, of course, she in the process completely and totally unequivocally buried NXT by, you know, again announcing that even though she was the NXT Women's Champion, that doesn't count. That's not part of her canon now. NXT does not exist on Raw and SmackDown.
No.
So she's a 12-time champion. She's a one. I mean, imagine this. She's recognized as a one-time Divas champion. That's part of the lineage. The Divas Championship is above the NXT Women's Championship.
That's
wow,
terrible.
That makes me feel great about that show. They had a great show last night. I didn't get a chance to see it yet, but they had a great show from all accounts. Not good enough. Not good. It doesn't rate on Raw.
No.
Even though it's their own brand. I don't understand why you bury your own brand.
Because
even if it wasn't on TV, if it was just like on Peacock, on the WWE network, like I get it. Like not a lot of people are watching it, but it's on your show. You actively advertise for stuff that's going to happen on Tuesday on NXT. But then at the same exact time, you're telling them that NXT means diddly dick. How does that make any sense? I hate you, Nick Khan. You're a son of a bitch.
Oh God, stop yelling for 2 seconds so
Sorry.
I can talk. You jerk. What was I gonna say now?
Something about Charlotte Flair.
Well, no, I lost it.
Oh.
Okay, no, NXT. All right.
There you go.
With the show, to add to what you're saying about how they don't even recognize it as being legitimate, right? Or anything.
Yeah.
But this is the same show that they were putting up against AEW.
Well, yeah, because they thought so little of AEW that, you know, they're like, oh, we're gonna beat them with our developmental, and it never, like if they ever beat them in viewership, a couple times they beat them in viewership, but they never beat them in the actual thing that matters, the 18 to 49 demographic. Not once, not ever.
This is the
or maybe once or twice when they did Great American Bash. Maybe.
But still, they even thought of it in that context, but then they still shit on it. It's bizarre.
Isn't it
bizarre?
It's so weird that like two of the big power brokers in wrestling are named Khan. Khan.
But here's the thing too.
God.
When SmackDown wasn't on Fox, right? And when SmackDown, you know, people weren't watching SmackDown nearly as much as Raw at one point, right? Now SmackDown clearly is the better of the shows. But they weren't even putting their all into SmackDown at one point. It was like, let's give everything to Raw, but they were leaving SmackDown alone.
I know. Like they have no clue how to, I mean, like, you know, they want to do this brand split, but they have literally no clue how to properly divide up the shows so that, you know, one show isn't just like, you know, like the top show and the other, like they're, you know, and NBC Universal is paying $750 million to have 3 hours of Raw on their television each week. And it's like anything and everything can be thrown at SmackDown on Fox because they got an extra, you know, $250 million for it. And when you're in the hundreds of millions of dollars at that point, like, why does it even make a difference? But
you should honestly,
it's so strange. But even if you watch SmackDown, I'm sorry to burst everybody's bubble, but SmackDown has some serious problems on it too.
Of course it does.
Like the stuff that Paul Heyman is involved with, very, very good. That stuff, that's what separates it from Raw. But I mean, their mid card is a mess. Their tag team division's a mess. Like they have a few bright spots. I love the Baron Corbin stuff, even though it's like so weird that like they're basically saying like we don't pay our employees livable wages, so that like if Baron Corbin loses his crown, like he's not getting paid enough, like, and he has to pay for his entrance. It's like so weird.
Think about Alex.
But who
Riley.
knows? Who knows?
So
I don't know.
Mike and I forget what show. What you have to remind me what show it was. Mike and I
might have been SummerSlam.
And remember Alex Riley?
Or 2015?
Alex Riley was literally walking out with us.
Oh no, I think it was TLC.
I
think it was TLC. The very first one at Barclays.
It was me, Van, and my brother, and he was literally walking out with us. Literally.
Alex Riley. Well, I mean, we met Nigel McGuinness. Just walking around Barclays Center. He was just like, oh, well, I don't. They're not letting me leave through the regular exit, so here I go.
It's crazy. And that one time and they don't even know their people. Like Vin was pretending his NXT. Remember Vin is like on one of the wrestlers.
I guess I had like a real Iron Sheik moment there. Nick Khan, you're a son of a bitch.
You are too much sometimes.
I don't know why I got like so fired up there.
You get fired up all the time.
but I liked Raw. I liked Raw tonight. So
did you? I don't know.
I don't know if I did now. I don't know if I did.
If I'm being honest, I don't really think you did. And I went from like Charlotte Flair. I was trying to talk about Charlotte Flair, and then you went into this craziness. So I don't know what the hell.
Yeah. So anyway, I like the Charlotte Flair promo. I think that's what I started off by saying, and I don't know what happened.
Yeah, but how did it get off the rails?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to watch it back later and see what happened. But like, I can feel like my head is melting right now. Let's see. So she comes out and cuts this promo. I know why, because she was, essentially she buried NXT. Right. One-time Divas champion, 5-time SmackDown Women's champion, now a 6-time Raw Women's champion. I cannot believe that they are going to have her win and lose the title 5 more times. She has to lose it 5 times in order to win the 17th at WrestleMania to beat Daddy, who they probably won't even acknowledge. And Charlotte Flair's father, who
what's his name again?
It'll be like when Saudi Arabia kills another journalist, and it's like, well, we're live from fucking nowhere. It's like Charlotte Flair's father, he who must not be named.
Oh God,
it's like,
literally.
Okay,
terrible.
No, but actually, she cut a really good promo. She's like, no one compares to the opportunity of the Queen, your champion, Charlotte Flair. She's surprised nobody made a commemorative statue for her. Her accomplishments are unparalleled. She'll hold the title as long as she physically can. She doesn't need friends or family, which was a good line. She sure as hell doesn't need the WWE Universe. All she needs is right here with the title. And the fireworks go off and she stands tall. I'm like, that was a hell of a promo.
So here's my thought though.
But then they had her cut the same promo a second time.
Right.
So weird. Why? Oh, I know why. 3 hours, you have to kill time.
Here's the thing though, I haven't really been enjoying her lately, and I really like Charlotte Flair. I really do. I think when she came back, I was excited because I was like, all right, you know what? Even though we might get the same stuff, and we are basically, because who can she really face? I was like, she cuts a really good promo. It's something to, aspire to in the sense of like, okay, maybe they'll find something for her where somebody else can kind of, feud with and whatever, but I haven't really been enjoying it. I feel like they've been the same. She's been saying the same thing like over and over again. And like that whole thing, this one, I don't know what made it different tonight, but I really did like it. I did. I thought it was good. I thought it was like the original Charlotte Flair of what I like, that, just that classic, like heel, gets right to the point. But in like the past few weeks, it's been kind of like for me.
Right. Yeah. It's just the same. There's no progression here. It's very transparent what they're doing. So it's kind of hard to be interested and invested in a championship that is going to be just passed around like a hot potato. It just, but they don't care. Like they, wins mean nothing. Titles, I guess, mean nothing too. They're just props. I get it. They are just props. I had that whole 24/7 rant 2 years ago about it, but come on. Like, but then they wonder why nobody really cares about their shows. It's like, oh, well, I'll just take the entire fall and winter off and come back to watch at WrestleMania.
Right.
And then I'll stop watching again until SummerSlam. And then I stop watching again. It's like, well, because if you don't make your show, if you don't take the props on your television show and help them to mean something, if you don't have any characters that people can get invested in, and if people are just coming back for like 1 or 2 shows rather than, feeling like they need to see, at least 45 of the 52 that they do a year, like how are you supposed to tap into all of that money that Nick Khan wants to make here?
You should also too,
instead his answer is just, let's sign a whole bunch of athletes. We're going to teach them one style, and we have a certain look that we're going for. I'm telling you, it's going to be a lean couple years in this company. It's going to be lean, like the Miz is our best hope at this point to be like, he might be the last true smaller guy heel that they have before they start bringing up these giant athletes that have no personality and no skill and try to tell stories with them. It's going to be ugly. You better pray that they sell this company.
When they were in when we were talking about the brand split before, it's just so bizarre to me. And this all goes back really to the NXT thing too, of why you wouldn't want both shows to be as successful as each other. You should want people to be like, oh, I really want to watch Raw. Oh, I'm really excited for SmackDown. Oh, I'm really excited for NXT. You should want people to be so obsessed with wrestling that they just have to watch these shows. I personally don't have to watch these shows at this point because the big stuff's happening at the pay-per-views. You get like all the cruddy storylines in between and everything else. Once in a while, you're getting good segments here and there, but it's not worth it to watch it consistently at this point. But that's what really the main goal should be, of getting people to want more.
Right.
And they're not. Everyone's wanting less.
They're begging.
Everyone's begging, like, please just stop.
Well, I think that Raw should be 4 hours long, actually. I think that would be really great. And SmackDown should be 8 hours. And our enemy is sleep. It's like, anyway, let's talk about the good stuff on this show, because there was some good stuff. I promise. I swear.
I don't know. You're not convincing me.
I did see some good stuff on the show.
Convincing our viewers either.
So I mean, the first thing I saw that was really promising was actually so Lashley tells the fans that, if anyone thinks that the almighty WWE champion Bobby Lashley owes Goldberg and his son an apology, Lashley says, you can go to hell. I thought that was pretty strong. Really like that was good. I mean, that's just easy wrestling 101.
Exactly.
And it doesn't have to be like, Bobby Lashley brought out this giant inflatable blow up doll and put his hand in its head and was making it talk. It's like, we don't need like stupid gimmicks with, to a classic wrestling story.
And he didn't speak forever. It was very,
that was his one line. He had one line and MVP did all the talking for him. It's quite literally like a throwback to like the 1980s with like, big heel that can't really talk and the manager that does all the talking. That's why it's so successful. You want to know, like it's not just, yes, part of it is the push that he got. There's a great push for Bobby Lashley. They've made him look great, but it's a lot of it has to do with the presentation as well, because you believe it. Yes, it helps that he's also a gigantic man, but you believe it and you can feel it because the character work is done really, really well there. MVP has done yeoman's work getting this thing off the ground. But it doesn't need to be overly gimmicked. It doesn't need to be Karrion Kross now coming out in some weird, I don't even know, like Mad Max, wet dream mask.
They go overboard. Sorry, I was just laughing at something.
Oh, okay. I was like, what happened here?
Nothing.
I'm done. I don't understand.
I was laughing.
Yeah, it you know, it doesn't need to be like Karrion Kross like wearing like, you know, weird dominatrix uniform. Like it's this is how you make a star.
Well, there's been times too, which that's a good point with Karrion Kross, right? That they don't leave well enough alone, where like something's working, and then they always have to make it. Oh, we have to embellish it even more. So the Fiend, for a perfect example, that was working really well in the beginning.
No, it was not working really well at the beginning. It was actually one of the best debuts I've ever seen for a character in my entire life. Like of a brand new gimmick character, it was probably the tops that I've ever seen.
And that's what I'm saying.
No, I know what you're saying, but you're saying it was it was the best. I think it's up there.
Okay,
as like one of the best.
That's great. That's the point.
And that's when they realized this is like a viable character.
They got their hands on it though,
and then they were like, oh, we got to give it the treatment.
They made it. They embellished
it. The treatment.
They made it crazy, and they put too much with it. It worked in the beginning because it was simple. But it was like it was this, you know, alter ego type thing that he had to try to handle, and he had to try to control, but he couldn't. And then it would come out, and then he would perform. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, they only did one match with it before they killed it at Hell in a Cell.
Right. But it worked. Like the fun house and everything. It worked. It was interesting.
Yes. Well, it worked because they actually gave Bray Wyatt creative leeway to do something, and he created this excellent. But then once they saw that it was successful, and they're like, "Oh, we can put that in the title picture." Oh, I have a few ideas too. Let's put the entire arena red. Let's give him a cartoon Joker mallet. Let's have him kick out of 11 stomps, and it's gonna be great.
And set him on fire.
Instead, Seth Rollins has never been the same. Ever since Seth Rollins' career has never recovered from the Fiend, never. He's chasing.
A lot of people with Bray Wyatt.
I'm not even kidding you. I mean, like there have been some successes with Seth Rollins, but it hasn't been. He hasn't attained anywhere near the level of steam as a heel that he had prior to the Fiend match. It honestly it ruined him.
Yeah,
it ruined him, and it ruined the Fiend too. And now we live with whatever bastardization of the Fiend is in Alexa Bliss.
Yep.
Anyway, continuing on with this opening segment, another positive is, you know, I've been kind of down on Damian Priest. He doesn't really do much for me. I think he's kind of he looks like a charismatic vacuum. But tonight, you know, he came out, and yes, while he didn't really like light my fire, I guess you could say, he delivered his lines in a way that San Diego reacted to them. He called, you know, Bobby Lashley Roberto, which I kind of liked.
Yes.
And he challenged him to a match, and I was like, well, you know, that's why you want him to be the United States champion, and put him in bigger situations. And like I said on the SummerSlam review show, it's sink or swim time for him. You know, he hasn't. This is it for him. He hasn't had I don't think he's had a really good, you know, debut on the main stage.
No.
They protected him, so so there is that they have at least stuck with that, even though he's had some falters. They have stuck with it, and right now it's let's see what you can do. Now, the classic trope of being the U.S. champion is that you spend more time getting pinned than you do winning.
Yeah.
So of course he's like, you know, he's going to face Bobby Lashley tonight, and I'm like, maybe they'll buck the trend and have him. And I said maybe they'll break the trend with a non-finish, and that's exactly what they did. They did a 2-minute match. Sheamus comes in from behind, attacks Damian Priest. There wasn't even enough in the Priest Lashley match, singles match, to even comment on. You know, there just wasn't.
No.
But
I liked it though.
I like that because it at least gets you thinking that Damian Priest could be something more.
Yeah, exactly.
They need to work on. I think they still need to work on the character work. I think they need to figure out. I think they need to figure out what is his motivation. I don't know what Damian Priest is. I don't know what he stands for. I don't understand this whole Archer of Infamy thing, and his name will live forever. It's like
the best thing they could did though was getting away from feuding with Miz and Morrison. That was because, you know, if the Bad Bunny thing it didn't work, right? It didn't do its job of what it was supposed to. And, you know, Roy even said this on the SummerSlam show that Bad Bunny wound up like being the star of that of WrestleMania with that performance.
Right.
So that didn't do its job. And it didn't work with him to be with right now. Miz and Morrison, what they were doing was more of the comedic stuff. I think Damian Priest, his role should have been more in like a Bobby Lashley type thing where it's going to be serious. And tonight you took him seriously. And that's what was good about it, you know? And that's what I think the goal should have been from the beginning. Somebody who you're going to have to take seriously and who is going to be a potential contender for somebody and have a match in the future, like a title match.
Absolutely. Now I'd like to, after the match, they were double teaming. Sheamus runs down. He was double teaming Priest with Lashley, and Drew McIntyre runs down to make the save. I want to amend my initial thoughts to this match where I said, good tag team match, but not sure what the overall point was other than to waste a lot of time. Should clue you into how many ideas they have for this show. I obviously can see the point of the tag match now. It took a long time to get there, so I wasn't wrong that they were trying to just waste time. But obviously this tag match actually accomplished quite a bit. When I think about it in hindsight, obviously again, it puts Damian Priest in a good situation where now it's not like, like for him to just go from beating Miz and Morrison and even Sheamus to a degree to like taking it to Bobby Lashley, that would be a stretch. That would be a real stretch. Yes. But you put Damian Priest in there briefly with Bobby Lashley, mostly with Sheamus, who he beat last night. Right. You keep him shining. And it also gave a good opportunity for Drew McIntyre. Once again, he's on his second or third rehab now. He had to rehab himself from telling the stupid Scottish stories that was just like death. Now he has to rehab himself from the weapon that he can't use in that stupid sword. I didn't see the sword at all tonight.
No.
I didn't see the sword at all. Great. And I that's how I want it. That's how I don't ever want to see that sword again.
I never want to see it again.
I don't want to see it. I don't want to see the sword because look, say what you want about.
The sword might come back in Saudi Arabia though, just so you know.
It might, because they need something to behead people with. I did it again. I'm sorry. That's not nice. It's not the people of Saudi Arabia. It's their crooked government. It's their crooked government. That's what I'm criticizing.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm criticizing.
And then everybody knows that. Come on, people.
Well, you never know. You never know. You never know. But anyway, you can't use the sword. You can never use the sword. You will murder somebody with it. So best that the sword just stays in the back now. And Drew McIntyre looked great in this. He was the one who picked up the pin because he really needed it. He needed to look good.
He 100%
and he did look good against Sheamus tonight, and Bobby Lashley as well. He took it to Bobby Lashley and again looked like a star. Unfortunately, they booked themselves into a corner where they have where the stipulation is that he can't challenge for the WWE title anymore. But I guess with the brand split coming up soon, whenever it is, was outside, so just dropped by to say hi for really quickly. I see I walked in on a contentious topic. Josh is out of here. I will troll again soon. Thank you, Josh. He got me to sweat tonight. He did his job. He did his job. Anyway, so it obviously accomplished a lot. Now, of course, it all remains in the follow-up now. What are they going to do with Damian Priest next week? What are they going to do with Drew McIntyre next week? Even Sheamus got a rub from this because Bobby Lashley walked off on him in the tag match. Now it's going to be Sheamus versus Bobby Lashley next week. And I think that could be a good Extreme Rules match.
I wish that they said that they would do this. You know how you mentioned in the past that anybody who's in a feud, they have their main feud, right? They majority of the time their main focus of the show will be that feud that they're in. However, they are venturing out to feuding with other people. So I would love to see Damian Priest, still be in that limelight with those individuals, right? But then also facing other people as well.
Yeah.
Being that he's, the champion. And just to kind of make you think like, he may not be champion for the next pay-per-view. He may not, something might change along the way. I think that would be the best bet to kind of go back to that classic of, they're not wrestling each other too much before the pay-per-view, whatever whose opponent might be, right? But then there's also other people that he's focusing on in the meantime. And again, it doesn't have to be major focus, but he's I don't know. He has a match against whoever. You know what I mean? Whoever, another person. So
yeah, yep. So it was a success. We have Doudrop, who is now completely broken apart from Eva Marie. Like that thing was so rushed. It was like, like they were teasing problems with them from almost the very first week that Eva Marie debuted. It was so strange. It was like bizarre. God, like at least let them like string together a couple wins where Doudrop just crushes a few people, bring in some indie talent or something like that for them to crush, and Eva Marie take the wins.
I don't understand it.
But now they're going to be facing next week on Raw. Eva attacked her, and Doudrop called her a bitch, and Doudrop's like, oh, Eva Marie got me in the door, but I didn't sign up to be humiliated and spoken down to. Eva also gave me the name Doudrop, so that's who I am now. I like the name. It's like, hold on a second. It sounds like Eva Marie did a lot of great things for you. Yeah, she didn't treat you right, but like you basically said the whole reason that you're here is because of Eva Marie. Yeah. So screw Eva. It's like, I don't know. I think you owe her a little something. Like, come on. It's like,
you're not looking at this the right way, my dear.
I don't know what I'm doing here. Karrion Kross, they're doing the right thing by this guy. So last week he beat Jeff Hardy in like less than a minute. Mm-hmm. Tonight he just kills Ricochet. It's like, again, it's like they pinned him just for the sake of pinning him. It's like they do the swerve, just like they swerve themselves into a situation that you can't really like you have to play catch up and just so you can get the fans to be pissed about something, rather than just like, okay, we're playing games with the fans rather than trying to tell the best story that we can. Karrion Kross should have been doing this from day one. From day one, he should have just been crushing guys like this. Now, the other thing that they did was they debuted him in this ridiculous outfit that has to be seen to be believed. I'm going to pull it up here momentarily because Jerome posted it. Actually, it's been kind of talked about on the internet a lot because it was just awful. It just is horrible.
There's no way to describe it. It's just
it's a really bad look. It's a really bad look. That's it. It's like that's what they're sending him out there in. Oh, and don't forget the suspenders. Like,
you can't wear that like, I don't know, was it like ninja like, and then have suspenders on like that. It's
like so weird. It's like half. It's like half of a Demolition and half of like the Viking Raiders get up. It's like so strange. I don't understand.
I'm actually gonna be a little inappropriate. This looks like some S&M.
Yeah, I know. It's like so strange.
Like, I feel like I'm at like a bachelorette party and like something's gonna go down that I was not expecting.
Right. So it's like, they're doing the right thing booking wise with him by having him just blow through people. But it's like how I talked about how they did the right thing with Bobby Lashley. Part of it is the booking and the other part is the presentation. The presentation's hurting this guy right now. Totally hurting him. Like that. Well, that is just awful. That's awful.
It overshadows the fact that that he is being this killer guy in the ring, right?
Yeah.
But then this outfit comes out and you're like, ooh, like, and then you're just overlook anything that he's going to do well. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yep.
Can't take him seriously.
Okay, so this next segment was just the absolute worst thing on the show. Just awful. This moist TV thing with Logan Paul was just the absolute pits.
First of all, I don't understand why.
Horrible.
Why they have the Paul brothers anywhere. And this isn't just WWE. This is everybody. Like anybody who has the Paul brothers in any broadcasting on anything, shame on you. I'm sorry. Like they are not good guys, and sexual assault, allegations right now. Like, come on. Like, why are we having these people give them any TV time? I'm sorry.
I know.
Like, there's just no amount of money is worth it for what? Like, for what? I'm sorry. Just it's not doing it for me.
Yeah.
And it was terrible. It was a terrible segment. He's a terrible person. Bye.
Oh, yeah. There you go. There you go.
What?
I can't add anything else to that.
I'm just saying they suck.
I know they do. I know. Yeah, I know. I saw it. It was horrible. Let's see. I'm just looking at the but
after that awful segment. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way,
you should take this one. You really should.
Wait, by the way, before we go into the next segment with the Miz and Morrison with the Xavier Woods, the vignette with Elias, the tombstone saying Elias 2017 to 2021, and somebody on, was it on TikTok or was it on Twitter or something?
I don't remember.
Somebody goes, Elias was only 3 years old.
No, he's like 4 years old.
4 years old.
You go, wow, he looked really developed for 4 years old.
That was really funny. I don't know why that just make me giggle. But with the Miz and Morrison, that this was the best thing that happened tonight on the show.
That was the best really set. That was the best.
Because
I mean, I thought the RK Bro stuff was actually excellent.
Oh, it was. That's a given.
In terms of like an actual, like, it's been a while since we've seen like an actual good tag team breakup, and I didn't know so many people cared about this tag team. But I guess, the longevity between the two of them.
The camaraderie and everything between the two of them. They're actual friends.
It really, like, I have to say, there are some crowds that WWE goes to and it's just like, ugh, God, they were awful.
Of course.
San Diego was there for almost everything.
Yeah.
For almost everything.
They were a good crowd.
And they came through when the, so Miz faces Xavier Woods in a match that went too long and it wasn't that great. And John Morrison kind of caused him to lose the match. They do this thing where Miz, like Miz and Morrison, they're like, all right, sorry about that. They get the dripsticks, and then Miz blindsides him, attacks him. It was honestly one of the better things I think Miz has done in his career. I think it was that good of a segment that could be a career moment for Miz.
Yeah.
Tonight was a career night.
It was one of those things where the Miz, he needed it. He really needed that. I'm telling you, I was very disappointed when with their interaction and what happened to them at SummerSlam. I didn't think it was funny. I didn't think it was working. And I can appreciate a good friendship. And I can appreciate friends in real life coming together, doing a tag team, and really, showcasing that. Yes. And I also can appreciate the fact that they were trying to, bring a tag team back that worked back in the day. But here's the thing, when they were both younger, that like comedic shit that they were doing was working because they were both younger. Now they're older and it wasn't really working for them. Fine. What have you. But the fact that they were able to make Miz look strong and make him look like a legitimate heel, Mm-hmm. So I really do. I really, 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 really think that this was it needed to happen. I just hope, because I know feud's going to take place now, right, with Miz and Morrison.
Yeah.
But here's my only concern with that. I don't think Morrison is going to be able to match up with Miz that much in the feud. I just don't think that Morrison has that same level of combativeness in terms of Mike's skills. Because what's going to happen is now the Miz is really good at giving it back to somebody, right? Telling it like it is and really going for the jugular and looking like, when he wants to, looking very intimidating, right? But I don't know if Morris has that same thing in it for him.
Right.
To be doing that back. I do, because in my opinion, I think Morris had to rely a lot on the Miz.
Right.
So they have to be careful of how they have Morrison feuding with him.
Okay. Yeah.
That's just my concern. But it needed to happen tonight. They needed to break up. It was just
it was a long time coming.
The one to turn on him.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It couldn't be the other way around.
No.
It wouldn't have worked.
It had to be the Miz.
It had to be the Miz.
And I was ready for it. I think they had peaked as a comedy group a couple months ago. Actually, I think they peaked before the end of 2020. But they stuck him around longer. I mean, they've been teasing this for a while. They were going to break up initially, I think earlier in the year. Then they did the Damian Priest Bad Bunny thing,
right? And that was,
and then then he got injured, and then they had to put the brakes on that. So like this has been built for a while and brewing, and people, when it happened, people responded to it. It was a well done angle. Now next week they're going to have them face. I imagine that it's going to be a quick match. I'm sure they're going to have a weapons match of some sort at Extreme Rules,
whatever it may be. Yeah.
I hope the heat that they got tonight is there for it when they actually have the big match.
I do too.
I kind of think that, like you said, I don't think John Morrison can hang with the Miz promo wise, but I think they can do enough to get to just to get to the event.
If they keep it very simple and they don't have Morrison talk and they just kind of have where they're doing a little bit of jabs at each other and more of like physical stuff, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
They can get through it. But if they start having it where like Miz is really going at him verbally, it's not going to work.
Right.
Because Morrison won't be able to match up with him.
Right.
And I don't hate Morrison, by the way. I don't like.
It's not that. I mean, you know, his weakness is his promo.
Yes.
I mean, or at least the way that they have him doing promos in WWE is.
I don't. I actually, I really like their friendship in real life. It's hysterical. And if they had brought that realness to it, like of their actual like banter, it would have been funnier because their natural banter of what the things that they talk about now as adults.
That's okay.
Is funny.
That's okay. A bunch of people that don't actually know them sit in a writing room and imagine what their friendship is like, and that's what they present.
Right.
So that's cool. Anyway, Jinder Mahal versus Mansoor. Mansoor tells Ali that he wants to win the right way. So Jinder Mahal just basically murders him. And just gets disqualified because he was murdering him to dead. So the referee called the match. So I mean, it's just incredible because it's August 23rd, and he's getting destroyed by Jinder Mahal. But come October, when it's time for Crown Jewel, this guy is going to be like beating somebody. Maybe he'll be in there with Bobby Lashley beating him like a drumstick. Who knows?
Please.
It's almost time to start. I actually really like Mansoor, so it's really nothing against him. It's just like that weird thing where it's like, oh well, we got to make the prince happy, so time to give Mansoor another win. It's like, all right, well, Mansoor is gonna obviously.
Who did they initially want to come back? Wasn't it like Hulk Hogan?
They wanted, they wanted. I think they wanted Ultimate Warrior, Yokozuna, and the guy with the cowboy hat and the guy with the crown, which is obviously Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler.
Yeah.
So, I think did they want Andre the Giant? Were they not aware that Andre the Giant died almost 30 years ago?
Yeah, I think they wanted Andre the Giant.
I can't remember.
I can't remember now.
I can't remember, but it's like Randy says, it's Mansoor's. It's almost Mansoor season. It's almost.
Just like it is pumpkin spice latte season. I think now they are selling it. It's Starbucks.
Are you actually okay? So at least somebody's interested in the pairing.
That's fine.
It's just not given enough time for me to like really get interested in it, and it also like it's taken just too many weird turns. So it's like like they initially got together because Ali was just like teaching him lessons and was being really mean to him, and then like Mansoor screwed up, and he like made a tag match for them, which I think they lost. And then it was like, why would Ali's like, I'm only going to take the team with you once, and it didn't work out. And then he's like, oh, he bought him a ring jacket. Then they're like best buds. So like they completely changed the dynamic of them. Like that now it's like, oh, they're two bros just going out there, and Ali's teaching him a few tricks and stuff like that. And now it's back to like Ali is being nasty to him. It's like, is the same person writing this every week, or like
probably not?
I don't know. I don't know. It's like somebody got the old notes from somebody else.
Machine, I don't know.
I don't know.
I hope he's not sick again.
I hope I hope he's okay, because he was back for a little bit, and disappeared once again.
I mean, the way that he was recovering, that was very scary for him. So
Randy, I agree completely. I know he's been through like 6 gimmicks and very little good, but I for some reason think Ali could be something good. We've seen that there is that,
and he had the push at one point.
It was like that anti-push where it was like, people wanted to see Ali, and WWE kind of like, caved and gave them what gave them what they wanted. Mm-hmm. He was, initially, Kofi Kingston took the Ali spot when Ali got injured at the Elimination Chamber, which started Kofi Mania. Ali showed real glimpses of like they told him he was going to win Money in the Bank, and then they told him right before his entrance that actually Brock Lesnar was going to win Money in the Bank. So he's been there, but it's their bad booking that took him down. Mm-hmm. And when you're a guy that big in this company where you just know that they don't want to push guys like that, once that steam, is let out, it's very hard to get it back. And that's the problem with Ali, is that it's going to be hard to get the fans to really believe in him again, because that's the only way that he's going to be pushed to be something really good. Because look at Ricochet. It's like they pushed him for a little bit. He had that great match against John Morrison to close out the Thunderdome, and now he's back to like wrestling a main event. And then when he appears on Raw, he's losing in like 30 seconds to Karrion Kross. It's like they started giving him a push, but they just can't sustain. So really, it has to be the fans get behind him again. I don't know if with his booking now and the way that and just how horribly they've handled him, if that could ever happen again.
Yeah,
it's a tragic story. There's a lot of guys that have really tragic stories on this roster, and some people will be like, well, hey, at least they have a job. It's like, yeah, they have a job.
Pair them up with too, it has a lot to do with it as well.
Yeah,
I think he's just in a bad situation.
We talked about the Charlotte Flair thing. I got to tell you, okay, so the next thing that we need to talk about is this tag match with Nikki Ash and Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. I actually thought that this was a really fun tag match. I absolutely love Nia Jax with her natural hair. I think she looks great.
I love her right now.
And
I am absolutely obsessed with her.
And her doing all the Rikishi spots, the stink face. She keeps teasing the bonsai drop. She does the thing where she's like shaking her butt and like, just she looks like she's having fun. This is by far, since she came up, I think she debuted in 2016 on the main roster. This is the best version of Nia Jax I've seen.
I love the confidence that she is just having right now. You could tell she's happy, she's confident, and I hope they don't touch her. Don't touch her. I hope they let her live her best life. I hope they let her do her thing, let her be funny, let her do her thing in the ring. Don't touch her.
Yeah.
Do not touch her, because she's doing so well and you can tell how happy she is. Leave it alone. Leave well enough alone. Because if they put their hands on this, they're going to turn it back to something we don't want.
Right. Randy Torgola says he's scared that the writer's room is saying let's do RK Bro with women. I think he means for Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash, because they were kind of saying like they're kind of like an odd duck tag team, but I have a great name for them. It could be Rash. It could be great. Actually,
they give me a rash every time I have to watch them.
That could be good. But I like the tag match. I thought everybody had a chance to look good in it.
Yeah.
And it was a success.
Nia Jax, do your thing, girl.
Finally, we have RK Bro Championship Celebration. Riddle was great in this. Like my bro, the Apex Predator, my best friend, my best bro, the Viper Bro, like all these things.
Oh man.
Randy Orton coming out. They're doing the fireworks. They have the balloons. He's looking at the balloons.
They're so good.
He's looking at the balloons like he wants to cut them and let them fly off in the atmosphere. The fireworks are going off, and he's like, "Oh God!" Like I just like everything about this tag team is great.
This is slowly turning into not quite the same level, not there yet, but this is slowly turning into like a Daniel Bryan Kane situation where I am just obsessed with it. And I am looking forward to their interactions.
Yeah.
Any interaction that they have, whether it's a long or short interaction, it is amazing. And I'm all for it.
Yeah.
It's almost getting to there for me for like up there in terms of that odd couple tag team. And I am 100%, 1,000% obsessed with this.
Yeah.
I really am.
Absolutely. Because it is really, really, really well done. Which obviously means that, I have to take this with a grain of salt. I even had to say in my tweet tonight that I'm going to enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah.
Because when something's good,
doesn't stay good.
You know that they're gonna be like, okay, now we got to break them up.
That's why I said don't touch
that's the next
Nia,
thing. That's the next thing.
I don't want them
you gotta
ruining
you gotta
her.
break it up.
I don't want to ruin. I mean, look at the Hurt Business. That was working really well.
The Hurt Business was the best thing on Raw for the last half of 2020 and the first half of the year, and they broke them up.
And now Cedric Alexander's
disappeared completely. Remember he was like screaming and like just screaming and more screaming, and now he's gone. So that's that.
Don't touch it. Don't.
It's like that the group is supposed to like, elevate everybody, and instead they're like, no, we're not elevating.
They have to have a museum. Everyone has to sign them. Please do not touch this.
Yeah, I know.
RK Bro, please do not touch.
When I have to say though, when Riddle grabbed the scooter with Randy's name on it with hearts written all around it, and he's like, you're my best bro, dude. You're my best guy. God. It's like Christmas, but it's not Christmas. It's like, and then he shows him how to open and close the scooter, and Orton is just deadpanning it. I actually laughed. I actually lost it and laughed.
So funny.
It was really, really good.
So
it was
funny.
really well done. Then AJ Styles and Omos come out. Styles is trying to plant some seeds, to get them to hate each other, but it doesn't really happen.
No.
He's gonna face Riddle, and they actually, I thought this was a very good Raw main event. It's been a while since like a Raw main event has actually felt like like a main event. I thought this was fun. It was.
I love a fun main event.
But But like what actually made this really great is that, Riddle is a really good performer, and they don't let you see that too often because he has to do like the,
bro.
that whole thing.
Bro.
he's got to do all that, and also they book him like, he's an idiot. But tonight, that looked like Riddle, like how I would want to see him presented all the time. Like aggressive. I'm glad I gave him a
chance.
Definitely like aggressive and in your face. It was just it was really, really well done. I like the presentation here. I like the kneeing Styles in the face. I liked kicking out of like big moves and countering big moves, because usually he just keeps getting hit and beaten down. The one thing that I don't like, it's like getting just so old. It's like they want Omos to do as little as possible. So Omos's distraction finishes are just so strange. It's so weird. He just walks, and that's the distraction. Him walking, that's it, because he's so big.
Whoa,
it's like I'm on the top rope.
Large.
I'm on the top rope, and every time Rill's like, "Wow!" It's like, come on.
He's never seen anybody like this before.
Omos is he's a tree. He's a tree, and trees don't really wrestle well. I mean, but they can't trust him to do anything, like get on the apron and push him off or something like that. It's just so, that's like goofy. That's like beyond the realms of just like, okay, this is getting silly now. But anyway, Riddle gets the win after Orton attacks Omos with the scooter, Bro Derek for the victory. Then afterward, Orton hits an RKO out of nowhere, and they celebrate. I thought it was a really good ending to the show. I thought it was just fun throughout. The segment was fun. The match was very, very good. That's a great way to end the show. So you actually leave with, something satisfying. It wasn't like, Riddle and Orton won the titles on Saturday and then they beat them tonight. It's like, they continued the momentum. So they're actually doing a good job with Orton and Riddle.
I want to beat
total win.
I want to beat them over the head sometimes, because when you watch this show, you wonder how some things are from this company and how some things don't look like they're from this company. Mm-hmm. And this is a prime example. This is not something you would expect the creative, right, to do well with at all.
No.
And again, I don't know how they're managing. I don't know what control is being done here.
I know.
But then you have the Alexa Bliss stuff. So it's like, oh, how is it the same company? If they can really capitalize on the things like, and again, you're not going to always get like this amazing tag team of RK Bro. You're not, right. You're not always going to hit a gold mine here. You have to be realistic. But this is the WWE that I know. Like, you know what I mean? This is the WWE that I found to like over the years that I've been watching, things like this.
Mm-hmm.
And you just want to see more of this. And it can't be, it can't be like this all the time.
I know.
But
I know.
You just want more of those moments.
Yeah. Yep. And part of what makes these teams so great is that, they run with it rather than like thinking about the end. Somebody mentioned earlier in the chat that it's so hard to get invested in tag teams. Like when Miz and Morrison broke up, they actually had some history between them. So it's something you cared about. Most tag teams break up before they even get off the ground. It seems like now before they're even established as like a great tag team, they're breaking them up. So Heavy Machinery is like a prime example, and Tucker's not even in with the company anymore. American Alpha and stuff like that, they everything gets broken up at some point before it even has a chance to get going, and it can be really good. So hopefully, like when I think of like Booker T and Goldust, that was given a month, almost a year to play out completely, and they never really broke up. It's just like they just went their separate ways. So like that's fine too. That's fine too. Rock and Sock, they never broke up. They just kind of went their separate ways. And that's like one of the best that probably is the standard for the odd couple tag teams. Daniel Bryan and Kane, they did have a breakup, but then they got back together and then they went their separate ways. There's good stuff, that can be done. I hope that they just let it,
let it be.
For once, Daniel, you're right. They're letting it play out, and I hope they continue to let it play out.
It's funny how they can't see it. Well, I don't know. Again, maybe it's just Vince, but that they can't see that the things that they control don't work, but the things that they let just.
Right. I want to answer Daniel's question here. When RK Bro breaks up, are we going to care? Yeah, because RK Bro, I can tell you, there's not a lot on Raw that I really look forward to. Seeing what Bobby Lashley does, I look forward to that. Yep. Every now and then they catch me. They get something that I'm like, oh, well, I'm kind of interested in that. Miz and Morrison, I'm now interested in that. But RK Bro is like that. That's something I want to see every week. That's something that I'm excited to see what, how they up what they did the previous week.
You have a veteran and you have your newbie, and they're coming together and it's working.
Yep. So everybody, what did you think of the show? If you're in the chat room, give us a thumbs up or thumbs down on what you thought of the show. Victoria, what did you think of tonight's show?
I give it a thumbs up. Even though you're, especially with your critiques in the beginning, you would have thought you hated the show.
No, just certain segments that are just atrocious.
But I have to say, Miz and Morrison breaking up really, was a top thing for me. The beginning of the show was great too, with Bobby Lashley, MVP. Damian Priest, I thought, had a good showing tonight. I'm behind that. And obviously the main event, really, really enjoyed. So I give it a thumbs up.
Yeah.
I think you give it a thumbs up too.
I already did give it a thumbs up. Yeah. I have to say it was a success of a show. Quentin Walters gives it 69 thumbs up. Damn it. I am bummed out. Cross should not lost the belt. He was supposed to be the new Goldberg. Plus he had Scarlett. He was just money. Damn it, WWE. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's not for everybody, for sure. I like the way they're booking him on Raw right now. I hated the way they debuted him, but that damn outfit is brutal. Billy Hefner gives it a thumbs up because of the end. Graham Coskin Cripps gives it thumbs 60% up. Machine Walls thumbs up. Daniel thumbs hearing Mike scream like Mark Levin up. Even though I technically didn't watch, I needed more Mike screaming.
Daniel, we all do. Even me, who hears it.
King of Huecamundo, it says it was thumbs up. AJ match with Riddle was the saver. Quentin Walters, post Raw, the flagship of WrestleView, always thumbs up. We thank you for saying that. That is very nice of you. I like to think that, we do a good job here. Let's see what the Twitterverse thinks of the show. 51%. Very narrow lead for thumbs up right now. Like I said, it's going to be a mixed bag of reactions. I thought there was more good on this show. I thought that they did, really good job getting Drew McIntyre to be relevant again. Damian Priest, Sheamus, and Bobby Lashley, everybody looked good in that tag match. I like the women's tag match with Nia Jax. I really like the Miz and Morrison breakup angle. I love the RK Bro stuff. The good, and especially because that tag match took up pretty much the first hour of Raw. and RK Bro was the last half hour. Yeah. Those are big chunks that actually wound up being really good.
All right, listen, everyone. Miz is our best hope, so you all can just relax. That was a great statement tonight, and that will go down in history. And there you go.
Daniel, you got to please the people sometimes. The people you live with, that is. All right, everybody.
Happy life, right?
We are going to wrap this puppy up for tonight. Thank you again. This was a great weekend for Wrestleview. We had a great show with me, Roy Nemmer, and Adam Martin on Friday night, covering.
At first I was like, wait a minute.
Covering the AJ. I'm sorry, the CM Punk. I'm thinking AJ Lee. The CM Punk debut on AEW Rampage. We had a great conversation for about an hour on that one, so check that out. SummerSlam review with me, Victoria, and Roy. That's the biggest video that we have done to date. Thank you so much, everybody. And now tonight, I think post Raw, we had a good show here. So thank you for joining us tonight. If you have not already done so, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I'm Mike Tedesco.
I'm Victoria Tedesco.
Have a great week, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, everyone.
Ciao.